protector of yours.
Yes, yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right.
Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection. It created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt?
No. Well, actually, funny way, it's just like in markets that if I weren't there, somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. In other words, whether I was there or not, the property was being taken away. So I had no sense of guilt.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Rarely do we compare somebody to Hitler. Rarely do we compare somebody to the devil. But in the case of George Soros, a listener sent us a sculpture in the mail 2 weeks ago, very nice sculpture, of George Soros as the devil. So I've got it in my office. I think I'm going to move it out of there, though. It's a little bit creepy. Because he went on a 13-minute segment in 1998 of 60 Minutes and said that he was proud of being a Nazi collaborator, essentially. Now, starting about 6-7 years ago, they would always ban the interview on YouTube. We had copyright strikes, but I challenged YouTube, filed the paperwork, and said, I will sue in court over this. So they withdrew the strike on our account, but would not let us upload it. They've got computer bots that can recognize it by keyword, but also just by the video, and not let us do it. Now we've learned how to get around them by slowing the audio down, speeding it up, putting other video over it, and scrambling it. That's the only way you're able to actually get the video. And it's subtle when you're watching it, but we haven't edited it for content. We've just edited it so that we can get around the bots. That's what we do here. Remember back when we had the Google bomb for a year and a half and we can have the keyword every day? They changed the whole algorithm to block that. We weren't gaming the system. We had enough listeners to go search a term. And back then, they weren't gaming it as much, so you could actually have the top term. If, 1 million of our listeners would go and put in a keyword, we could do it anytime we wanted to. Boy, that got their attention. But what's amazing is that CNN would have the nerve to come out yesterday and say that I am a liar. Rob Dude just brought in the sculpture, please. Thank you. Didn't ask for it, but it's perfect timing. We'll thank the listener that sent this to us. It's Eli Hasselman. Now, that said, imagine CNN when it's known for 19 years that George Soros, from 14s when he started to 17, would ferret in because the Jews would trust him. He was a young Jew. Just like child molesters use teenagers to lure kids. They'd think, oh, we can let him know our hidden place. And they gave him money and stuff. He'd bring them food. Then he'd find out what they had. He'd sell them out. They'd get rounded up. He was a Judas goat, Jew. They would send in to find the hidden Jews, to find folks like Anne Frank. That's why he's a hero of liberal Jews and a hero of the ADL. They give him the highest award, and a hero of the left because he's the greatest living Nazi collaborator that is still around. You're like, that doesn't make sense. These are really twisted, sick people, the left, folks. They're really into evil. They think it's cool. And it's a better joke for them to know he's a Nazi and funds their main operations and has overthrown all these other countries and had nothing but an evil history after overthrowing Ukraine, overthrowing many nations in the Middle East with the Arab Spring, putting the radical Muslims in that enslave the women, throw the gays off buildings, blow up the churches. This is a very, very sick, ruthless guy, but he's their bad guy hero. That's why in the last James Bond movie, it's based on him and the Quantum Group as the main group funding Spectre, funding both sides of every major war. British intelligence helped write the script, and they admit that's George Soros, and the Quantum Group is the name of his main fund. So he's a literal James Bond villain, and Anderson Cooper of the Central Intelligence Agency, that's admitted, went on television and said that we made all this up.